Are you renting out your apartment in Turkey? Then you are already paying tax. The only question is whether you actually know it or not. And here's why this matters right now. Every year the rules change, tax rates get updated, and penalties for mistakes only get stricter. Many property owners don't even realize they're overpaying because of incorrect calculations, or worse, they risk receiving a letter from the tax office. So today, I'll explain everything in simple terms: how much you need to pay, how the tax is calculated, and how to avoid the most common mistakes. Let's start with the basics. Any rental income you earn in Turkey is taxable. This applies to Turkish citizens and foreigners. Even if you live abroad but rent out your property here, you still have to pay tax. So how is the tax calculated? It's simple. Your annual rental income is taken as the starting point. From that amount, a tax-free allowance is deducted. This number changes every year, but on average, it's around 40 to 50,000 lira. Everything above that becomes taxable income. Turkey uses a progressive tax rate. The more you earn, the higher the tax percentage. There are two calculation methods. First, the standard method. You only use the tax-free allowance, and the rest is taxed normally. Second, the detailed method. Here you can deduct expenses, repairs, insurance, mortgage interest, property management fees, even part of the utility bills if you pay them as the owner. This method is especially beneficial if you have high expenses or a mortgage. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you earned 200,000 lira in annual rental income. You subtract the tax-free allowance, and the remaining amount is taxed step by step, first at a lower rate, then higher. The final amount depends on your expenses and the documents you can prove. Now, here are the important points. First, you must submit a tax declaration. In Turkey, this is taken very seriously. Second, your tenant must pay you through a bank account only. Cash payments are a direct path to problems. Even if you receive cash, the tax office can still treat it as undeclared income. Third, long-term and short-term rentals are taxed differently. If you rent on Airbnb or similar platforms, the rules can be completely different. Taxes are often higher, and in some cases, you may need a special license. The most common mistakes? Not keeping documents, not submitting the declaration on time, incorrect tax calculations, accepting cash, not knowing that legitimate expenses can be deducted to reduce your tax. All of this leads to overpayments or penalties. If you own property in Istanbul, plan to rent it out, or are considering investing, I can help you go through the entire process calmly, correctly, and without risks. I'll explain the system, help you with documentation, and choose the most beneficial strategy for your situation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always ready to help.